Yeah, we're good.
Perfect. All right, let's see. So you mentioned that this is a Vayne game, right?
Yeah, and the first one I sent you was not first person, but then I just re-recorded a better game where basically like I think I wrote on the video what it is I want to like understand the most on the like in the let me go check it myself. Um yeah, I wrote what I so the things like main things I highlighted are basically, like, in a Caitlyn lane where especially with the new change they made to her, her headshot hits tower. She takes tower like insanely fast, even faster than before.
Mm-hmm.
So if like considering I main Vayne, I've been wondering like one main thing is like, what do I do when my tower gets taken? Like at a they're drunk, they send like 4 bot, fucking your tower's gone by like level 5 kind of thing. Like, your tower gets taken like super early. I was wondering like what do you do about that? And then when Caitlyn starts rotating to siege all the first tier towers, like your top and mid tower, do you rotate to match her, or do you try and stay to defend that? And then outside of that, mid game farming rotations, I always notice like I'm down like 20 CS mid game, just because I don't always know. Like I've seen some of your videos where you talk about like you freeze the first wave and you push the next one when your team starts to fight and stuff like that. But yeah, and also just like. Yeah, I mean those are the main things. Like, and the next stuff comes in late game. You'll see like late game, like team fight decision making, how to use QSS. Like I bought a QSS this game and I didn't use it effectively. But yeah, and also in this video, if you want to mute this on, I talk myself through what I'm doing a lot. So if you have this on already muted. So yeah.
Oh, do you want me to? We can listen to it at the same time if
Okay,
you,
I mean I don't know if that'll make it easier or not. Let me go back.
Oh wait, you can't even hear it if I turn on the sound, right?
I have no clue. I wouldn't know.
That's like a
I know
Skype
this
thing.
first part of lane was awkward because I realize now, like, I have to always respect where my support is relative to me, like because I just look at my health right now, like I just eat so much free poke, like.
Okay, so
I'm watching right now,
the first like 3-4 questions you had, they're all like tied to you playing Vayne, right? So you main Vayne, right?
Right. Yeah.
So when you're like, okay, they take my tower because Caitlyn is Caitlyn, I can't really stop him from hitting my tower, right? That's
Yeah.
Unless what?
I was gonna say unless let's say like they have a melee support and I have a range support, we can just poke them through double range kind of situation where we can both shove away faster than them.
Right. But usually you're just gonna like lose the tower, right? And that's
Yeah,
that's natural, right? That's how. That's why you pick Caitlyn, so you can pressure towers early, right? You have the long range, you can poke, you win lane. So how does Vayne win, right? So how does Vayne win in a game?
Vayne wins through surviving lane gracefully and just like losing gracefully, like with like 10 CS deficit at the most. And you might lose your tower, but you'll win in mid late game team fights just because you fight better than Caitlyn. Like theoretically, if you don't get hit by trap, you just shit out team fighter. If you're
Right, you just fucking hit the close guy and they melt immediately,
Yeah.
right? So the way Vayne wins is you're gonna farm up or just wait until you have a ton of items, right? 3, 4, 5 items, and then you go to town, right? And you're like, oh, I'm a side lane pressure, and then someone comes stops me, I kill them, take the tower, right? So when we think about that, it makes a lot of sense for you to like lose tower. So when you say, what do I do when I lose tower? How do you everything you do should be related to your goal, which is stall to late game or get as much money as possible or whatever that is, right? You can say you're playing a different champion, say you're playing Ashe. You say my goal is to have global pressure with my arrow. So you would go mid or something like that. But as Vayne, you would be like, oh, you don't want to match because if you match, you're just going to lose more farm. They're going to take more towers because you couldn't do anything anyways. Now she got first blood tower. You still can't do anything, right? So you want to stay bot. And you want to push and make sure that you can provide some pressure for your team, right? And your support, you're like, yo, support, go help the team. Because my job is to just like scale as much as possible, right? So that answers like the first kind of portion to your question.
So when Caitlyn takes my tower, I tell my support to roam mid or to match Caitlyn when she goes mid or top, and then I try to, instead of freezing bot, I should pressure the wave so that someone has to go stop the wave bot.
Exactly. So ideally it'd be like you have like echo top or something, I don't know, whatever wave clear top, and then you're like, oh, support go up there so you guys can 2v2 and then try and stall out, right? You can't prevent Caitlyn from taking all the towers, but you can stall long enough so that she can't break your base open, right? If you can stall to that point and it's like 30 minutes in the game, then you can start being like, oh, now I have items now, and then if she tries to siege, we can go on her because we're outscaling, right? So that's how it works. So if you ever watch these like Worlds game, have you been watching Worlds by any
Oh,
chance?
I've been watching Worlds. Hell yeah, I've been watching Worlds.
If you watch like any of these scaling teams, right, and they're like giving up towers because they can't do anything, they literally can't do anything, right? But then once their scaling team has gotten items, they're like, oh, we can engage now, right?
Did you see the SKT EDG game? Like for one, like that's like a perfect example. They got, like,
yeah, exactly.
Hard shit on the entire game, and then Wolf and Thang were like
Saber for LCS 2K18.
But yeah, that's the goal here. So everything you do in lane, right? So how do you what is your goal in this lane, right?
Well, honestly, that's one thing I was gonna say is like, is it possible for me to, like, sometimes I don't know if I should contest the push or if I should just allow the push, like, get pushed in the tower and just accept that you just have to last it under tower kind of situation.
So how do you contest this push, theoretically speaking?
Okay, if she's intelligent enough she's like a diamond level Caitlyn, if she's intelligent enough to just push push lane with her Q and her autos, they should just win the push unless Morgana's magic. I would say to auto as much as I can and try to tumble to dodge her Q and still hit the wave if that's possible, but that doesn't seem like...
There's literally nothing. Yeah, it's pretty much like nothing you can do.
Right.
Yeah, according to the matchup, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing you can do, right? So your job's just get as much farm as possible and make sure you don't take poke damage, right? Don't trade, don't take damage. Morgana lands a bind, doesn't matter. You can't go in anyways, right? So your job is to, what do we say, right? Scale out farm, and then you can, like, there can be an argument to be made for like sacrificing HP to get some minions. That's not really right, because what happens when a fight breaks out in the river? All of a sudden you can't help because you have no HP, and then your
even
team's like,
then, like, she can just zone harder because she now has an XP gap because she knows she has kill threat on you.
Yeah.
So,
so basically, no matter what happens, your focus is to get minions, right? You don't care about trading because you can't win a trade, and don't take damage no matter what. If she's hitting your tower, there's nothing you can do. Let her hit the tower, right? That's how she. It's like the reason why they pick Caitlyn is because they can do that. So if you try and force it so that you're trying to fight her when she's doing that, you're not gonna win because that's not what your champion does, right? If you're playing Ashe or Varus, different story, right? Because you can hit them, CC them while they try and run, stuff like that. But the matchup means you can't do that, right? So when we see Echo invade, we know that's bad because
their balling has priority. We pinged the hell out of them too. Like we literally said, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that, so don't worry about that stuff. But so far it's about like try and take less damage. But I think the CS is okay. I can't tell because I don't see the scoreboard. But
well, I will say, like, one thing is in these lanes where I realize I'm gonna just get throated, I would like, but this was before Arden got nerfed. I would just start 3 pots in fucking Relic. But the only problem with that is that yes, it gives me more sustain than Doran's. But if I do get pushed under tower, it's way harder to CS because you just have less AD. So it's
yeah, I think Doran's shield or Relic shield is fine. I think Relic shield is less fine now.
Right, after the change, This was last patch before they.
Okay. Yeah, like it's honestly it didn't matter if you had Doran's or Relic. It's just like, don't walk up to Lulu, right? Yeah. When you're as an AD carry, you pretty much never want to auto trade with Lulu. And then, do you want to trade with Caitlyn? No, because Lulu's gonna shield him, right? So, so in this lane, if you said you saw like the last Vayne video, right? What would you use your Q for in this lane?
Prioritize tumbling out of Caitlyn Q and potentially like a trap if she or her net too. Like mainly, I would say the Q for the lowest cooldown, and then also her net, just because that's also a lot of damage.
Exactly. That's perfect, right? So it's kind of awkward since you're taking a lot of damage, but pretty much every time she uses it and it's aimed in your direction, just use your Q, right? Don't try and like be greedy, I guess. If you're getting hit by all of them, stop being greedy. Trying to save it, right? Yeah. So I think that's all there is to say about this like laning phase so far. Is just make sure that you don't want to trade, and just try and scale and farm. Right, this is a good bag. You can't stay. So
what ends up happening in this game is that Caitlyn does get my tower, but normally what I do. And I say it in the video, normally what I do is like when Caitlyn takes my tower, I just stay bot and then we just slowly lose everything, and then every lane flames the shit out of me, and they're like, you just get flamed because obviously their ADC is in their lane and they don't perceive you to be doing anything. But in this game I actually follow the Caitlyn. Like you'll see eventually she's gonna mean, we just sit here 1v1ing bot for a while, but she has. Well, I mean, she's gonna all me just because I'm level 5. You know, nothing. It's just a smart thing for her to do. Just takes my tower and then. Oh yeah, and here I just okay. I mean, this is fine. What this game is less about because I play this Caitlyn a lot. Like I kind of already know what I'm supposed to do, but I don't do that well enough. I'm just saying like I just wait here and then there's a TB. So yeah.
Oh baby.
Yeah,
this
it's
is a free
just like,
kill.
I'm like, okay, my patience paid off. Olaf even.
Hell yeah, dude! You're a scaling champion, getting a kill. That's fucking. Oh my god, his flash! What the hell? Wait, he's stealing all your farm. That's awkward.
No, it's okay. I mean,
yeah, this is like really right. So you did take like more damage than you should, but this is in essence the way you're supposed to play the matchup, right? You gotta wait. You gotta wait. And then someone gets like you get like a free help, and it's like sure, I'll take it.
My question is, do I push this wave because it's a can wave, so I won't even be able to push it in time. Like, should I just love this wave?
You like as Vayne, you can't push, right? So
right.
So when you like say, can I push this? Can I not push this? It's just like hit the minions because you just want to always push basically as Vayne. There's no you can't. The reason why you last hit is because like freeze is like when they don't show up to stop you, you immediately push. But as Vayne, you don't have that option because when they show up and then you try and push, it doesn't go anywhere. So you should have kept hitting those. You should have kept pushing this into tower, right?
Okay, I should hit this next wave.
Like what? Okay. Who can stop you, right? No one can stop you.
Because Caitlyn just died. Fiddlesticks just showed on the ward, but you know that's good. Yeah. Okay.
And then if like, there's literally no one that can come, right? And then your job is to try and bait someone to come stop you because you're less useful than they are at this stage of the game, right? This is when you're least useful, right? So you wanna stall this out, and then I don't think you want to go top here, but
this is right. I'm gonna do it, and it does work out, but it might not be the right because it worked out doesn't mean it's the right play. And I did say like Caitlyn's gonna come top, but
yeah, the reason why we usually don't want to match like this in this like mega bad matchup is that there's just nothing you can do. Right?
Oh, actually, I realized this game the reason I changed my pathing from going bot to going top is because the bot side just died. So like if I did go bot, I couldn't even push bot because there'd be 4 people bot lane.
Well, it's like so if we were like here, right? It's like you were already pathing top before like whatever this is.
Oh, before
right?
Yeah, that's true. I guess so that even though the decision turned out to I see. Here I just flashed for no.
The reason why did this work? Right? Why did this work?
Because they were overextended without.
He ate 3 axes before this started, right? So that's literally the only reason why this even
I didn't
works,
have to flash it at all.
I don't even know. It's fine. Like this, you did get the kills, which is nice. And you played it like mechanically right. The team fight was good. You just right click them. But usually speaking, you don't want to match, right? Unless you know for sure, right? What you do, everything you do wants to be scaling, right? And if you say, I can kill these guys, and that counts as scaling because I'm getting money, then you have to have a very good reason why you can run these guys down, right? Maybe you say Olaf is mega strong and they can't run away from him, right? They have like Braum Caitlyn or something, and Caitlyn can't run away because she has no flash, no heal, right? Maybe then you're like, oh, okay, we can make this play because it's guaranteed. But anytime when it's not like guaranteed, right? You should stay away from those kind of plays. High variance plays is what I guess LS likes to call it or something.
I've heard you say that before. High variance. Yeah, I've heard you say
it's
that.
like don't know what the outcome is, right? If you had gone bot, right? Like when I said you could have pushed that wave bot, that was like a 0 variance. There's no one can stop you, right? The only outcome is good because you get money, right? There's no bad outcome there. So here you guys get the rift, which is really good, right? Lets you stall out the game more because they didn't get it. So you guys are on the track to winning, like really hard. This is really good.
Yeah.
Someone just died, but that's whatever.
And that's another thing I'm thinking, like, how do you prevent your teammates from doing really dumb stuff? Like a lot of times, like, a lot of my friends know, I'll call that something bad's about to happen. Like, I'll know, like, okay, like, this isn't an example. Like, it's just like TF. Like, I wasn't even watching mid. Like, you'll see later in the game. Like, we're just gonna start invading the red side jungle when our comp is not meant to do that. You look at what Morgana's doing. Like, why is she in there?
Oh God.
You're about to see everyone's just about to enter. Like, just.
It's pretty unfortunate.
D5.
Right. So the way you like stop this stuff is you kind of have to pay attention to what people are doing, right? So first of all, we have to pay attention to what the enemy is doing, right? Otherwise, how can we do anything?
Pantheon almost trolling,
and then the second thing is we have to pay attention to what his team is doing, right? So if you're like we're doing Rift Herald, you spam ping back so that they don't try and take a fight. If like you're in base and your team is in their jungle, you spam ping back. Unless they can one shot someone, you're like you don't want to fight here because they have numbers advantage, right? So anything you think is really good or really bad, you spam ping forward or back, and that'll like That's how you like kind of prevent your team. Otherwise, you don't really have a say in what they do, right?
Right.
The only thing you can do is like,
spam
yeah, exactly. So this is kind of interesting.
He could have. Damn.
Not sure if you can like get anything here, right? Didn't Pantheon have ult, so it's like it's fine to not find anything. The fact that you guys find something is kind of crazy, but
so lucky. Like you just got lucky there.
So yeah, it's just everything you do is just still scaling, right? You still want to farm, still want to scale. Here you might want to go top, right? I don't know if you guys can get this tower. Oh, you got Rift Herald. Okay, yeah, you can take this tower. But once you know this tower is guaranteed, you want to go top, right? So everything you do, everything that we're going to see is I hope it's like according to the way Vayne wins, right? So
right, which I should go top right now to catch this wave,
yeah.
which is what I do. But then I tell my team I'm catching top, and I'm ping back mid. Like I ping that like I shouldn't stop to clear that wood. I don't think.
I think it's like okay, maybe I don't know. It's fine. As long as you're not,
they're gonna all push mid. So like this is something I have a question of is so like okay TF trolled here like TF did troll there, but my team's like oh I should never rotate it top.
No, you need to catch top. Like what? Okay, you go mid. What happens?
They siege anyway.
You siege anyways. You guys force a fight. You lose anyways, right? So you going mid does nothing, right? Literally does nothing, right? So don't worry about that. You like tell them to defend as long as possible, right?
If TF didn't die, they would have been able to wave clear with wildcard with his W. Like just I mean it was cute, just like him just hitting the wave. Like they could have wave cleared a little bit.
Right. You had Echo TF. You could have. So yeah. Okay, hold up. So why do you back here though?
Cause my team's getting rammed. I figure I should like reset and like try and help them. But okay, you're saying I should just keep pushing this next wave.
Yeah. Exactly. Remember. Everything you want to do as a scaling champion, as like a Vayne, Twitch, Kog'Maw, whatever. Maybe less Kog'Maw and more like Twitch and Vayne. But anything you want to do is you want to scale unless something very clear happens, right? So say they're all 20% HP with no ultimates, right? No ultimate, no flash. That's very clear that you guys can just run them down. So you come help. But if you try and like group and fight and you don't get any scaling, then even when it gets to 30 minutes, you're still stuck in the same position you were in the early game, right? You still can't do anything. So basically, you just want to stall and scale as much as possible. So.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's kind of like ignore your team. Like if you like, you'll know like what to do based on like your experience, right? Do these guys main Vayne? None of these guys main Vayne, right? Yeah, exactly. So it's like trust in your experience, right?
Your own decision making, right? Yeah, exactly. I definitely have learned that in the sense of like I used to one of my biggest mistakes. I used to get baited into bad fights because when you don't help someone, they'll like flame you for not helping them. But like I just don't care anymore. Like now I know like I'll ping them. I'll let them know what I'm gonna do. Like I'll ping back if I'm not gonna fight.
Right.
If they do something dumb, then there's nothing I can do about that.
Right. You just always spam ping when you think when you think you know something for sure, right?
Right.
And then you're good to go. So yeah. Okay. So when you were saying, before your earlier question was like, oh, I find myself missing farm in the mid game / some rotating stuff going on. At first it was like, maybe it's because you're playing Vayne because usually you want to push and then go do something, but Vayne can't really push. But I think what we're seeing is that you just need to stay in the side lane, right, as long as possible, and make them come to you, right? So because you lost like 12, 18 creeps up here, right? This is gonna be 18 creeps, right? Isn't that like a lot? Don't you think? I mean, and then like going to go for an invade, right? I don't know if this seems that great. You don't even have Olaf, so this could go really badly, right?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, but looks like you guys get away with it. But it's kind of spooky, right?
Yeah,
especially against a Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, it's definitely spooky.
Yeah, so it works out, but like a high variance play, right? So this is not really guaranteed. But I mean, the fact that it's happening, and you come help, that's good because even if your team does something stupid, if there's still something to be salvaged from it, right? You should go help anyways. So what's going on now? Ooh, this guy.
It's just like a lot of overcommitting. So like we'll get a kill. Like something I've realized is it's like symptom of D5 is like even if you get a kill, people think that means you should just continue moving forward. Like okay, you got a kill, therefore, we will win any fight, no matter what the condition is. When it's like, I mean, if you walk into a choke against an Ivia, it doesn't matter if you have like more people than them. If you kill their like one person on their team, it doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna keep winning the fight. But like it's just like I guess like you said, all you can do is ping.
Right.
And
And
not
some,
get
I mean, sometimes you can like, bum rush them if you have more people, right? But
sometimes, yeah, the situation has to be correct.
yeah, exactly. So the fact that you guys back off here is great, right? You're stalling the game. You got to pick. You guys want maybe you look to pressure dragon, but all you really care about is scaling and farming, right? So far so good, except maybe missing some CS.
This Pantheon is like huge. That's like I keep in this. What I'm saying to myself right now is like just don't die to Pantheon because I know that's like I mean I end up dying to him because you're about to see, man, the new Sterix on Pantheon with all the AD he has, it just man, it's a fun time.
Hold up, one question real quick. What's wrong with this picture?
You mean the map or like what I'm doing right now?
What are you doing right now?
Okay, well, I'm not sure actually. Like I would me hitting the scuttle or
right. Like this positioning is like what happens if they just push mid, right?
Oh, okay.
And then you guys say, oh, we're gonna come up and defend, and then Anivia puts a wall here, you guys lose the tower, right? So remember, you want to stall. You wanna stall this game out, right? You want to farm. You want to stall. You want to slow down the pace of the game, right? So you don't have to bum rush this dragon. This is like a tempo play, right? You're anything with a tempo play is basically when you sacrifice your resources and time to make something happen, right? So you guys can get this dragon. There's nothing they can do, right? What's the fallout? They can just push mid. Right, so you don't have to make tempo plays unless it's like really good, right? If this is an Inferno, you go for it.
Like he says maybe being careful. Like I ping them back because I'm going to get that wave, like just like what you just said.
Right. But you should have been in the mid lane to to see what's going on and to hit the minions, like clear them faster. Because now you by the time you clear this, they're gonna take dragon. Right? If you're standing here and they chase you, what happens? Your team can come in, right? Or you can maybe find a good trade. Or if they don't come in, you start clearing immediately, right? So if you really wanted that dragon, if you say this earth dragon is super important, then you give up all this shit to get the dragon, right? I don't think it's that worth, right? So that's why I was like, you should be mid. But when this shit happens, it's kind of awkward because now you can't do anything, right? Can't help.
I'm zoned by K traps.
Yeah, exactly.
That line is like right there.
Not even the K traps. Could have been a Nivea too. You guys get the steal, which is nice, but it's like this is kind of like a random shit going on, right?
It's like random as hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
so
like
yeah,
everyone is. Oh man, that team fight's very awkward. Actually.
Yeah, like basically, League is about creating a situation that's like super easy to play, right?
Favorable. Okay.
And yeah. So I don't know what this is, but this is some crazy shit going on. You're like trying to help. I think this is the right call, but I don't know if you can help. Yeah, you can condemn this maybe. Oh, you can see you.
I tried, yeah. And then...
yeah, I don't know, dude. So yeah. So basically, all this stems from the fact that you need to like prioritize what you want, right? You know what you want. You're like, oh, I want to scale until 3 items, 4 items, right? So the way you scale and stall, this is how you scale and stall, right? You want to be clearing mid and stuff. You want to clear before you do stuff, right? Dragon didn't spawn and the wave is coming in. You need to clear that wave first before you even consider dragon, right? Since they're stronger, they should be able to control dragon, right? It's not your guys' job to get this dragon for free. That doesn't make any sense because they're the early game team, right? So,
right.
Yeah, that's like what happened there, right? So it's kind of awkward because they tried to fight anyways, and then you guys like stole the dragon. So I don't know. But yeah, you guys don't want to fight after you get the dragon or don't get the dragon, right? Unless it's like free. So
okay, so something coming into, I know what's about to happen next. So yeah, I'm just clearing waves.
You're gonna get ulted by Pantheon, right?
No.
Or something like that. No.
Because I was looking at that the entire time. In my head, I'm like, Pantheon could kill me right now, so I'm like very very aware of like how I'm gonna escape if he does come. Which is why I don't push the next wave. I don't think I do because I'm. 1 second, random number calling me. Yeah, I don't push that next wave because I'm scared. I don't see where Pantheon
Interesting.
is.
Wait, who's their jungler?
Honestly, I would have to go see. I just. Oh, is it? Oh, it's a Fiddlesticks. The jungler is Fiddlesticks.
Right. So it's pretty scary, right?
Yeah,
so.
Even this push in and of itself.
This is fine. I think this is fine, right?
I think it's fine. Okay.
And then not pushing the next wave is also good, right? Because they were probably like waiting somewhere for
Looking
you, right?
For the collapse,
yeah. Right. So what should you do here if you can't do that?
I just back off. Like I would just rotate mid, I would think.
Right. But how do you scale and farm and stuff?
Should I farm jungle the two?
Yeah, start doing camps and shit, right? If it's safe and you're not gonna lose like a million HP, right?
And my jungler's on top side, so like he wouldn't be coming.
Yeah, he's not getting the shit anyways, right? So basically, everything you do wants to be scale and out farm. Unless they're like committing suicide, right? Running into you, you don't want to like fight, right? You only want to fight when it's like free, right? Free as hell. Oh, TF wants this, so this is doable, right? When I say free as hell, this is what I mean, right? You fight here because there's no way he can get away. Oh, maybe TF is not coming.
But
yeah,
TF
he is coming.
Like hesitating on it. It's weird. Like I don't have blade trinkets, so I can't see.
This is awkward. Now people are trying to fight top, but they
so
gotta
I
kill.
start leaving some like and then Pantheon. So now they're fighting other places.
Okay, that's fine. You can go mid, right? So you go mid here. You push mid, right?
I'm pinging them back. You see me, I'm pinging them back because I know
that's good. That's good.
What's coming.
Right.
I shouldn't have tried to clear this ward. It's not worth it.
Yeah. But it's fine. Getting the ward is fine. It doesn't matter. As long as you're getting these minions, right? What's really happening is your team is buying time for you, right? That's how like the game works, right?
Okay.
They're buying time for you to scale. So if you're not scaling while they're doing that, it's like not good, right? You either want to be scaling or you want to be helping them in a meaningful way, right? So here you push another wave, or maybe you stay bot. So you're missing like waves here. You could be pushing mid here, right? So everything you do along those lines, everything you do is along those lines. It's different if you're playing a different champion, right?
So
if you're playing
this right and getting it, but it's not the right call because it's not towards me scaling.
Right. What's going on here, right? So it's like even if you like, so your team is like, what are you doing? So it's kind of awkward because it isn't. It's not along the same lines, and you could have gotten caught here, right? And then that would have been Baron. And then not only that, but if they like pressure Baron right now, you can't easily help them. You have to like run through all this pitch black darkness. So just keep that in mind. As like so far the like mechanics and fighting, it seems fine, right? But you need to keep in mind what your goal is, right? As a champion, right? And then once you can do that, you wanna start doing that with your team, right? How does my team win against theirs, so to speak? And then in this case, you guys never want to chase into the jungle because then you're gonna get wrecked. But this looks free, right? Maybe nope. That's awkward.
This is what I'm talking
did a lot of damage,
so
but
you're about to start seeing this Pantheon does his ultis make you choose what you're about to do next. Either full dive into their entire team or
right. But why are we in this position in the first place, right?
Okay.
Also, this guy's free. Wait, you just condemned him in.
Yeah, I even inputted my condemn, but he flashed. Like
that's awkward.
Yeah.
So what happened here is that it's not that he ulted behind you. It's that you guys are trying to do something when your teammate's dead, right?
Right.
So it's like so once something happens, right, and then it's gonna be bad because usually in solo queue it's bad. You want to do damage control, right? So you want to clear waves and you don't want to die anymore.
My screen just went black, but okay, there we go. Never mind. It's
you can. Okay,
it's back now.
So it's like you're in damage control mode, right? You should be at least, unless you have a consistent way to just kill this guy.
Which so the Olaf is collapsing, but he's pretty far, so it's not like we were
right. But okay, say Olaf can teleport into their team right now. It's still a 4v5, right? So I don't know if that makes any sense.
Another thing is like Pantheon showed bot here, and I wasn't aware of that. He showed bot for a split second before coming to kill us all.
Yeah, so it's like the fact that you guys are trying to fight made you low enough that you died to this. This usually would have been a good condemn, right? He was gonna die, but you like ate like
this fiddle double
1,000 damage before the fight happened, right? So it's like kind of awkward.
Here, also another thing is as soon as he shows, I have to stealth away. I have to just ult tumble away because
right.
If he does that, if I do that, then he just doesn't even have a chance of catching me, even with flash.
Right, that could be another way out. But the big thing to focus on, I think, in this game is making sure we're in a position where we can, like, a baby can play it, right?
Right.
It's true that you could have gone out of there, but it's also true they could have set it up better so that there is no way you could get out, right? So it's about like making sure you know what you want, right? What are your making sure you know your best option, basically. Oh wow, what the hell?
Yeah, that was just like trolling, man. Like
holy shit. Okay, well, yeah. So the way this game is looking, you guys are gonna win because they don't know how to close this game out. What's going on?
Yeah, but it's kind of like who's gonna throw harder, really, because it's kind of just like
right. But the longer the game goes on, the easier it is for you because you just like one shot everyone, right? So far, it looks like good result, but make sure that while you're playing, right, you need to play towards your champion's win conditions, right?
Okay.
In this case, you want to just scale until you can two-shot them, right? You want to make it as easy for you as possible, right? So champions like Jinx and Vayne, you just wait until you have 4 items, and then you touch them once for the first time, they lose half their health, and they're like, wait, and then you kill them, right? So, also, wait, what's going on with this Baron? It's kind of awkward. Oh, they don't know. Okay, so yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, someone went. I think I'm the one who called it too. Like someone went bot, and it was such like a. Yeah, like
Kaylin went bot, so yeah,
killed,
that's good, right? That's good. And then Olaf's coming to. It's kind of awkward that Olaf wants your farm. But
it's all good. He followed the Baron rotation when he would have gotten. He could have agreed to the top and just gotten this farm, but he followed the Baron call. So.
Right. It's super awkward. So yeah, when you start getting to like this is less for you and more for like other roles, but when you start, you know how I was saying how we need to know how our champion wins. So once you know that, then you say, how does my team win? Your team does not win by Olaf getting money, right?
Right.
Early game he gets money and he can do shit, but now it's like that money's less useful on him than it is on you. This is super awkward, but it looks like you guys blew like someone up.
Completely zoned, but
yeah, that's like pretty awkward, right? So what's wrong with this picture?
First of all, angle and
just... as a team. Don't worry about you right now. As a team, what's wrong with this picture?
You shouldn't be here. Like we're fighting them in the jungle. Like that's like literally like you fight Fiddlesticks in the jungle. I don't think. And Twist Fate isn't here either. We're out of numbers too.
Right. It's 4v5, and you guys want to scale, so it's like a double whammy. This is like triple loss, right? You have 3 things going against you guys. And like your mid lane or jungle, whatever that is, got blown up, so that's kind of awkward. So yeah, whenever this shit happens, as long as you know how your team wants to win, you know you can like not fight this, right? When you see this happen, you want to play conservative.
Right.
You can look to help, but like you don't want to commit. So the fact that you get away here is good, but you have to like blow flash.
So I have to blow flash and heal everything.
Yeah, you guys did not want that. Even if you catch like Lulu or something, it went really poorly, and it probably could have gone worse, right?
Yeah.
So, 4v, yeah. See, he knows, right? 4v5 shouldn't have gone in. Holy shit, that card hit her. So yeah, this is the same thing. After something bad happens, you guys want to do damage control. So you want to not fight this unless you think you can win for some reason, which you can't. You don't have ult or flash. So someone's almost gonna die. Okay, nice. You guys get away. But yeah, remember that. Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
What the hell? Like, oh my God, what am I watching? Okay, yeah. It's really like I think for you it's less about what are my abilities used for, and more about how do I win this game, right? As the champion, right? As Vayne, you want to stall, and until something free comes up, you don't use your ult or like any abilities or something, right? Okay. You want to save your stuff, right? But I'm less concerned about that because it hasn't really cost you too much. But it's more about what do you want to do, right? And you want to stay. You want to stall and scale. How do you stall and scale? We've seen plenty of examples so far, right?
Yeah, just more and more farming. Just taking everything that's given to me.
Exactly. So here, what can you do right here to farm and scale?
Well, I would have gone. I mean, I could possibly have gone Krugs, but my jungler's on this side of the map, so I don't. I mean, both mid waves are pushing. Both waves are like close to me are pushing, like against me. Like I mean, like towards them.
Wait, the mid wave is pushing towards them?
Yeah, like, or I guess it's in the middle now. Never mind. The mid wave.
Yeah. It's in the middle.
Heading towards it. Yeah, I do start heading towards it when it.
Yeah, you wanna basically farm minions until it's no longer safe to do so, right? And then you're like, jungle is like next, right? Oh wow, okay. Someone's dying here. Right, you do jungle when it's not safe, right? Like we saw, you like couldn't go bot because there were 4 missing, right? And they had a really strong jungle gank. You don't go bot if you can die. I don't know what's going on here.
Just wait. But, like, our team tries to kill Panth, but like when people try to go for a pick, they don't look at the map.
Yeah, so, you guys need to get out of here.
It
was a nice try, but didn't work, so everyone's got to run. And then make sure that you're like, maybe you can help them. There's probably nothing here, but if they want to do something, maybe it's possible. I doubt it though. Yeah, there's no way, right? So here you guys just stall, right? How do you stall? You wave clear bot, and make sure you don't get caught by Nivea wall, right? Or Fiddle ult. I think Fiddle ult's gone. I'm not sure, but it's like you make sure you know what you want to do. And then make sure that once you know what you want to do, what's the best way to do it, right? So yeah, you probably, I mean, sometimes there's no way to defend the tower, right? So you just give it up. I think you guys can defend though.
I mean, I stopped. Oh wait, no, Baron just ran out. Never mind.
Right. So honestly, like even if you get Baron, if you're a scaling team, it doesn't. You guys don't have to push, right? There's no
yeah,
rule saying that.
Stall, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Just use it. Just get it to deny them, right? Like that Rift Herald earlier, that was like really good because they could have used that to push mid down. But yeah, where can you go and scale, right? You go mid. If he wants bot, you go mid, right? So Echo's getting the money. You guys don't need Echo to get the money, right? So basically, you need to find ways to scale. And you would have like an extra item here or something like that. Maybe not an extra item, but you would finish a Zeo item and a QSS or something like that. And then you right now you'd be at the point where you can actually do stuff, right? You don't need to scale anymore. You just go and kill people. You can like split push and make them come to you and kill them, right? So
that's another thing I wanted to talk about is in some of my games where I feel so like there's some games I have. This isn't one of them, but they're games where I'm really really strong. Like literally, like I know none of them can 1v1 me.
Yeah.
And I question my decision making on whether or not I should split because if I split, they force on my team. So then it's like.
Right, you should always split if you're playing Vayne and you're super strong. Because if you, like you said, if you're so strong that no one can stop you, what happens when they don't stop you?
I mean, I just take their base. Like,
yeah, exactly. You take their inhibitor and then it's like, oh, you guys got 4 kills. That's nice. I took your base, right? I cracked it open. So basically you split, right? And then if they try and stop your split, then you say you're so strong that they can't stop you. So they try and stop you, you kill them, you take more bases, right? You take more shit. So here you kind of have to wait until Olaf is back, but you're basically almost about ready to change your gameplay, right?
My gameplay.
Yeah. You're ready to like actually look for fights and stuff, right? So how does Vayne look for fights?
Wait around cooldown. So like once they use the cooldown, or if you realize what cooldown that you need to dodge, okay, let's say I'm fighting Anivia, I would like hold my tumble for a Q. Like I would, I've learned something big about Vayne is like you're supposed to like ulti, start DPSing, and then tumble to dodge something major. Like you're not just supposed to like. Unless you're coming from a flank, which is rare that you should be coming from a flank against a lot of teams. Yeah, you just wait around for them to do something, like make a mistake, and then you punish them when you turn on them with your damage.
Right. So how about in terms of like map movements? How do you create pressure as Vayne? Like if you push mid and if you're ults, right?
Yeah, because that's what I've been trying to tell my team like we can't just like siege into Nivea. So like so you're saying I should just push? Like right now I should keep pushing?
No. I'm saying like in theory, if you're strong, when you're strong and you want to make stuff happen. Right, you have flash, you have ult, you push a side lane, right, and then make them respond. You know, have pressure basically.
I see. Okay.
That's how you get pressure, right? Once you're in a strong situation, right?
You're strong and pushing.
Otherwise, the other two ways of like making stuff happen once you're strong is you wait until a fight breaks out and you hit the closest guy, right? That's the most free way to do it. And the second way is you can bait out abilities, right, with your tumble and your ulti and stuff, but that's less recommended, right? Because it's kind of hard to do. So you see Olaf splitting. That's good. And you guys go Baron.
I'm paying the hell out of this Baron.
Right. So you wait. So going for an auto attack here, right? It's kind of hard, right?
I mean, not having condemned for this incoming fight is really you're about to see how so right. Okay, this is I want to talk about.
This could be good.
It looked good, right? But then it's just so much stuff. Like.
Oh baby, it's 45 still. So. This is still what you guys want to do. You're just stalling for this Olaf push, right? But earlier you got to remember what you want, right? What do you want? What do you want right here as a team?
Well, to just defend for Olaf push, stall for Olaf push.
Right. You want to stall so Olaf can take free shit, and then when someone matches Olaf, then you guys can take a 4v4, right? So why do you hit Kaylin, right?
The outland, like it's just not possible. So this condemn auto, even whatever, like there's a missing ping on that. Cause it's like I don't know what the fuck.
Yeah, this is like not. It's like that's not along with your goals, right? That's not aligned with your goals, right? So it's kind of like the story of this game, right? What do you want and what's the best way to do it, right? So
something that happens here is this Morgana has not been the most. That's okay. Like he might have got autofilled. Like I don't expect my supports to be good anymore. So if you back it up though, if you back up a little bit, like to where the fight started, when this Pantheon ults me, because of Morgana Black Shield. Like if I see that Black Shield, I shouldn't. My direction I kite in I think is wrong because like if I just move backward, he would be tanking my tower. The
No,
entire.
you would die immediately, right? Because
think so?
he has like lethality or something, right? Let me see his chin.
yeah.
Yeah, he's got like look at this Black Cleaver and Ghost Blade and shit. I don't know. That's kind of you're gonna like die if you get hit by that stuff. Like look at this. He took out like all your health and he didn't even land everything, right? So it's kind of
Damn. Oh man. Yeah.
The Black Shield doesn't do anything. It just stops the stun, and he doesn't really care that much about the stun, right? It's just there to gap close. But it's still pretty strong for like follow up, right? But basically, it's like I wouldn't worry about the mechanics part yet because it's like so far the only fights I've seen are fights where you've kind of like put yourself in an unwinnable position, right? So I can't really tell how the fighting is going.
I see.
Right?
You're saying before you even think about the mechanics, the concept has to be correct. Like
yeah,
you
exactly.
can't fight a 4v5 before you can't even think about whether you can mechanically outplay them if you're fighting a 4v5 because it just doesn't make sense. Okay.
Right. If you like, it's just not possible if you don't know how to.
Oh man, this fight is about to be suspect.
This looks okay, right?
It
if
looks
you condemn
okay,
him.
right?
Oh
like,
baby, you missed an auto attack.
It looks. Wait. Okay, yeah, I'm about to.
That's fine though. Yeah, you missed an auto attack there, but it's fine. Right, this is kind of what you want to do here.
Okay, where
right
did
here. Right, that's like one.
Oh, right, okay, that's huge. No, you're right. That would have been her death too. Like if that auto landed. Oh my god.
But this is right. This is right. This is what you want to do, right? You make sure you dodge her QE and then you win, right? So she's like you're like very aware of it, and then you don't get hit by anything, and then good to go. But make sure that if you like don't chase if like it's kind of hard to say, but
yeah,
he just kind of like headshot you and you died.
Oh man,
it's just like if you can't finish, if you don't know how to finish them, always play conservative, right? This is kind of like an edge case, I would say, because it's like kind of hard to tell how you died. He just 3-hit you, right? But you played it for the most part pretty well until the end, right? The chasing's dangerous.
Yeah.
So maybe like
I think I would have gotten that. Go ahead, what?
It's like you know, you can also like look at it and say, you know, what's the goal here? When you take this fight.
Like, just scale. I mean, what's the goal? Well, the goal is to kill the ADC and get Baron theoretically. Like if or not. No,
well, do you have to kill them to get Baron?
Well, damn.
And then if you kill them, can you even Baron? Oh yeah, you can. You can Baron.
Dead, I mean, Olaf would have to be here. Too.
You could Baron, but it's like okay. And then the next question is how do you kill them, right? Okay, so you land the condemn, and then you like auto attack him, but then it was like
But then I flash. Like him having flash there was just
huge. pretty big, yeah.
Because I lost vision of him at the very split second, you know, like I have no vision of that wall, and even if I did, it wouldn't matter because I wouldn't have the range. But
this is like a fight I wouldn't worry.
Olaf ends up killing them for like, but that's because they trolled. Like obviously it's not like I premeditated, like thinking that.
Well, that was you, right? You did all that damage so that Olaf could do this, right?
Right.
So in a way, your death wasn't like meaningless or like for free, right?
Right.
But it's just like I wouldn't worry about that fight too much. It's more about the other stuff that came beforehand, right?
Okay.
Because we're gonna get to the point where once you play like you're scaling and stuff, you're gonna have so many items that when you hit them, you're gonna outdamage them, right? So it should be free fights. So I wouldn't worry about that specific fight too much, right?
Okay.
Don't worry, you have bigger fish to fry, basically, before you get to that kind of stuff. But it seemed pretty good from what I saw, for the most part, right? Okay, what's going on here? So Olaf is splitting, so you guys gonna lose this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, no, because Olaf has all the gold in our team too, so it's like...
baby, you can snipe someone here. Oh, never mind. You got slowed.
So they have a lot of CC. Like you're gonna see a fight later on where it's like it looks so good, and then CC just rolls in. Like it just, oh man, not now, but I know what fight it is. I could have got a turbo kill, but so much Zanya, like so much stalling, like Zanya CC, and just Anyway, we'll see. Right here, this is bad. Like I mean, they're getting Baron right now. Like
you can't stop the Baron, so this is fine, right? You can't stop Baron 4v5, right? You can maybe.
You don't think there's an argument that just me being over there would make them scared to just like start the Baron?
No. Getting the dragon is right. Like you being here now is good, but you being there at the beginning wouldn't have stopped them. So that's exactly what happens when you get here later, right? You start killing people. That's good. But if you're here first, it doesn't really do that much because they just walk at you, and then what do? You hit someone, you get walled, right? You hit someone, you get Nivea.
I get feared. I get a lot of things.
This is fine. This is a-okay. in my opinion. Right?
Sephiroth,
This is even better. Oh, they're getting baited. This is even better. Oh,
that's what you would think, right?
The tumble,
But
right? This is the tumble that
yeah, tumble, and
super
also my
awkward.
direction of kiting was terrible. Like I corner myself into this pit when I have less room to kite now.
I mean, this still looks good. You just don't get hit by. Oh, that's awkward.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and like the black, I needed to be more aware of how long black shield lasts for, because I would feel so unstoppable with the black shield. It's like, okay, we kill Caitlyn here, and then that's when we
okay,
should
so
reset.
if you want to talk about like team fighting mechanic stuff, which I think is still secondary for you, it's like when you use your Q, make sure that it's like this is good. You used it to bait them, but make sure every Q is like good, if that makes any sense. Like here, right? What is this? What does this do? Right? It's like the reason why Vayne is hard to play is because every time you use abilities, it has to be good, right? So that's very easy for Ashe to do. You just press W, wow, you can't miss. You press ultimate, that's one ability. For Vayne, it's like tumble every like 2 seconds or some shit, right? So every tumble needs to be clean, right, stuff like that. So I wouldn't worry about that too much, right? You got Caitlyn, which is like pretty good. You almost won this, which is pretty good, and then it's just like awkward, right?
Fucking Anivia.
But yeah, still, I would still say worry about the scaling and the farming stuff, right? And then making sure that you know what you want and you know the best option, right? So say you know you want to scale, but then you're like doing camps instead of pushing mid. That would be an example of finding the best option, which is push mid until someone comes to stop you, and then you go take the jungle camps, right?
Okay.
So yeah, this is getting late.
To recap, prioritize lane farm, prioritize scaling through splitting.
Right. If you're playing Vayne, right? If you're playing Vayne.
Yeah, no, I'm only.
You want to go play Vayne? Yeah. Then yeah, I would say definitely focus on that, right? Find out the best way to scale and farm, right? And then, like you were saying, you know, oh, I couldn't defend mid because if I show up there, there's nothing I can do. That's completely correct. So you keep scaling, right? Keep pushing your side lane until they start like going onto your inhib towers or something. Then maybe you're like, oh shit, maybe we should try and stop them. But yeah, at this point of the game, I don't know if your Olaf wants to split because now you guys are getting dove. This is actually really awkward. You guys can lose the game now.
Yeah.
Oh baby. Okay.
So much like.
Oh, they're gonna keep going. Oh
yeah.
baby. Yeah, so this is awkward.
Still splitting. He's still splitting.
Well, if you can stop them
fine.
here,
if we can just stop them,
oh, he died. Oh no. Oh, this is tragic.
Yeah, hysterics.
Okay, you're still 3 items, so you're like really strong. That's awkward.
Right
you
there,
rolled away.
Tumbled sideways.
You should have just killed him. Oh, you got him anyways. So
well,
I think you play this fight fine.
I have to tumble like to dodge that Q though.
I thought you have the QSS for that reason, right?
Fuck! See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, so I remember I saw a video you talked about intentionally getting hit by CC just to like bait out skills, but to make you do more damage. Like,
right.
So it's
like targeting. Like you use your abilities are used to target specific situations, right? So when I say that, I mean like obvious is like use your tumble to dodge a thresh hook, right? Or less obvious, use your condemn to stun a carry, right? So if you can stun a tank and you do it, that's a mistake because you didn't say you wanted to do that beforehand, right? You pre-plan in your head. You pre-plan in your head that I'm using my condemn for like the back line, right? Unless the tank is at 20%, then you say, oh, I can also do that.
Yeah, this game I pre-planned my condemn for Pantheon because like,
I
interrupted a couple of his stuns, but sometimes he just was super huge.
Against the Anivia thing, you had 2 options, right? You can do tumble or you can do QSS. So either of those would have worked. But honestly, I think it's fine, right? I think the mechanics are fine for now, right? It's just still fine, in my opinion, from what I've seen. It's just the whole getting to these items, right?
You're right. Getting these waves.
Yeah, this is good. Or you want to scale? What are you gonna buy next, by the way?
Honestly, like, I mean, ideally, I'm only gonna have gold to finish my QSS, like, or my Mercurial. Like, in terms of how this game is going, like, I'm only gonna, like, the next fight will probably decide the game because like our base is exposed. So I think here because I don't even have a slot to buy anything else.
Yeah, this is fine, I think.
Yeah, right. And I just buy pinks because it
sounds good to me. And then you say, what are you targeting? What are you using your QSS to target?
See, that's what. So on that team, that's like that's something like So if you pause the video real quick, that's what I'm doing right now. If I'm in tab screen, I'm thinking about what I'm gonna use it for. what do you think is the best like way of, because it's kind of hard because it's all situational. There gonna be fights where I won't need to QSS like a Fiddle Fear. I would need to QSS a Nivea stun.
Right. So when you have multiple options, or rather when they have more threats than you can answer, you wait until they have like the same amount of threats as your answers, right? So equal. You want it so that you have 1-to-1. So if all they have left is a Pantheon stun, you can walk up and hit them because you have QSS, right? But if they have a Pantheon stun and the Fiddle Fear, can't really do that, right? So you have to wait out their abilities. So in your case, I would say, okay, Lulu Polymorph, maybe. That's probably not going to happen. So we'll put that on the back burner, right? And there's nothing of Caitlyn's to QSS. If you ever use it against her, you're just cleaning up house, right? You're going to run at her and then kill her.
It means we're just running them down, right?
Anivia, you don't need it for Anivia, right? You have your Tumble. So there's no reason you should be forced to use it unless you get caught, right? And then, all that's left is Pantheon and Fiddle. So if you stay away from Fiddlesticks and you say, oh, I'm going to wait until Pantheon, and then you notice Pantheon is not coming for you, you walk up to Fiddle, he fears you, you QSS, and you kill him, right? So,
and I also have my Condemn for Pantheon stun too. Like,
Right, exactly. So you have two answers for 2 threats.
Two threats to have no counterplay. Like,
exactly. And then you actually, it's really like 3 and 3 because your Tumble's for Nivea, right? So you're good to go, right? You can just hit the closest guy. And then as long as you make sure
realizing all that and like realizing it, I think at that part I feel like I can somewhat, because I'll think like, what's the no counterplay CC, like what's the, like I have like Fiddle Fear and Pantheon stun because they just click me and then it happens, and for, so like, I'll realize that, but then in the moment like doing just like recognizing that knowledge and then instantly utilizing it. I mean, obviously that's the part where, you know, like
that's the mechanical part, right? That's the execution. But if you don't know it in the first place, then you can't do it. You can't do it anyways, right? So the first step is knowing, right? And the second step is executing. So right here, it's just Pantheon. This is pretty free, right? You just hit the closest guy, good to go. Really, this guy died in 2 hits. Jesus, this guy died in 2 hits. Look at this, right? That's all you need to do, right? Here's the closest guy and you get to go.
Back,
and then, now you can't do, you have no tumble, so you can't walk up, right? Because the Navy has Q, right? So that guy got hit by Q. That's awkward. Oh, you got minion blocked. That is so awkward. All right, so yeah, now you guys, but basically, we got to the point where it's kind of too late for your team because of all the earlier mistakes, if that makes any sense. But you can still do something if they kind of make a mistake. I'm not sure what. They're probably going to take tower. But, oh, wow. They're not taking tower. They want the dragon? That's fine. So, yeah. Now you just, get more items. So then you can 2-shot them more. And then you're good to go. But, yeah, basically, the reason why you're stuck in this situation is because of the earlier stuff, right? You're already playing this really well. You just, like, slaughter the Fiddle and Pantheon. That's your job, right? Hit the closest guy. So, like, that fight was, like, pretty much the way you're supposed to play it, right?
I was gonna say, what do you think my last item should be against that team? Like theoretically,
this thing?
I don't need Last Whisper. I would think.
For me, I start doing like Death Stance stuff, right?
Like stuff to make you survive more.
Right, exactly. So it's like now you have what are more threats? Not just CC, right? Now we're getting to the point where damage is a threat, right? So if you ever play against a Zaya, you're like, when she presses W, you're gonna die, right? When you play against a Kog'Maw, when he presses W, you're gonna die. When you play against a Twitch, it's like he comes out of stealth, you die. Yeah. So Caitlyn, it's gonna be like she hits you, and that's 1/3 of your health, and you hit her, that's 1/3 of her health. So game is really fast. So getting a Death Stance when you don't need to get anything else is a good option.
Do you think Death Stance is better here than GA? Because here I start building a GA, and
if you get a GA, you already lost, right? Because when you get downed, if you get downed against anyone, it's over.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Because if it's Caitlyn, you're instant dead. Headshot trap.
Because if it's she's gonna trap my GA, and then
this is not. You shouldn't be going down no matter what. Because if you go down, your team has no damage, right? In this team comp, the only one who can do damage is you. So it's like super awkward if you go down, right? If you have 4 damage dealers and you get a GA, yeah, getting down could be good because then your team can like assassinate and stuff. But we're getting this kind of awkward now that wait, what happened here? Could you have helped? Not really, right? They kind of killed themselves.
Like, I started walking towards them, but
yeah, there's not much you can do. He just got caught. This is awkward.
Like, and it's like it's hard to like have these games and not like because you don't want to like. So like, I'll look at these games and I'm not gonna like focus on how just the decision making for my teammates. I try not to think about that because like there are things I could have done to have scaled to have more items so that the plays that I could have made, maybe I would have had an extra item. Maybe I could have carried my team. You know what I mean? So, I went blank. My screen went black for a sec. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, and it's like right here. I don't even think we can contest, man. I have flash heal and QSS up though, so I'm like debating like if I should have walked over there.
Well, you could. I mean, we can talk about this a little, but there's like an opportunity here, right? If we remember our answers to their threats, you can hit this guy with no fear, right?
You're right.
But don't worry, I wouldn't worry about that. That's like kind of crazy.
That's
right?
that's like high fucking.
Yeah. We're getting to the point where it's like really hard to do that consistently. So, so far I would still say focus on the early game stuff, right? The early game, mid game. What do you want to do? What is the best way to do it? Like theoretically, right? And if you want to fight, it better be like a really free fight. Oh wow, this is really good. I think this could be really good. Oh no, never mind. They didn't come face track. Right, because it's good that you realize you're at the point where you can 3-shot this guy, right? So this is stuff that you want to be doing when you do have the items.
looking for a pick here because they just because it's like a go for bro kind of pick. Which,
I think it's fine, right? This looks good.
I follow them. And then I see they're 3.
Oh, yeah, and they're pushing, so then you got it back. That's fine. Yeah. And he's gonna split. No, it's good that he splits because you guys can trade in Hibs maybe. Unless you guys think they're gonna end the game if they take the inhibitor.
Which we do think that because of how strong they are, we do think they're gonna end the game.
That's fine. Then you guys, you stop them. So yeah, what you do is you can just hit the closest guy and you win, right? This Pantheon is suicide. Oh, this is Anivia. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, hold up. So, okay, never mind. We'll just watch this through. Let's see what happens. Seems fine. Oh wow. Oh baby,
we should win this fight. We should win this fight.
You're gonna get fiddle ulted if you guys aren't careful. Oh wait.
See right here, I should be DPSing him because of the fact that I have QSS, right? Like I didn't.
That's
have to
awkward.
condemn him
Yeah,
away.
you can just kill that guy.
But Caitlyn was behind him though, so it's kind of like it's just weird. Like this is exactly what I'm thinking. Like what should I have done in this fight? Like
this right here. So first is like don't eat the Pantheon ult, but honestly it's like fine. And then the second is you can just hit this guy, right?
I shouldn't have flashed away. So
like when in doubt, don't use abilities. So what happens if you just auto attack him and kite back?
That's what I should have done, and I can't do that. It's not hard to do. I just in this case, this is a game where I'm just so fucking scared of Pantheon because it's not even about his CC anymore. It's just how much damage he does. Just flat out look at his items. He 20 kill Pantheon was man and there's no I don't want to say there's no peel because I can't rely on my teammates to peel for me. I'm playing Vayne, I can peel for myself. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, I should have just stayed in that because at that they win the game anyway. If I don't kill that guy, they just win the game, and then Caitlyn just. Yeah,
that's kind of awkward. She's fucking huge now. Yeah.
Yeah, now she's hit the game. Caitlyn.
This is kind of those situations where it's it's easier to fix the stuff that happened earlier than it is later because we're in a situation where it's mega hard to win now, right? But I think it was reasonable, the fighting was reasonable, right? Seems pretty good for the most part, right? Obviously, if you want to examine your fights and stuff, you say make sure you have your answers ready for their threats, and then make sure your abilities are good value, right? So when I paused for a sec, it's because you use their tumble, right? And in here. You can just hit this guy, right? There's
no reason why I tumble.
Yeah, exactly. You need to have a reason for everything. So, and it's always kind of hard to nitpick because it's 6 items and it's really high pressure situation. But
no, nitpicking is good. I mean, nitpicking is very important.
Right. So that was really you just hit this guy. That's good, right? Don't use your tumble for no reason, right? And then use tumble to get away from Pantheon. Really good. And then you just kill this guy and then you're good to go. But
I see.
Yeah. Because if you had flash, you can threaten Caitlyn, right? Don't you kill Caitlyn in 3 hits, right?
Yeah, I
So if you flash and then just auto her, Q her when she uses an ability, auto her again, Lulu's gonna polymorph you. You QSS, you kill Caitlyn, right? Because she literally cannot match your damage, right?
In a straight up one, in a fight where I'm also hitting her, it's just not possible.
She can only match your damage if she lands in the net, right? So make sure you tumble the net. Good to go. Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's what I would say is make sure that at least for you, you need to keep one thing in mind, and I think that's a good thing because it's easy to focus on that. But figure out make sure you know what you want, right? So as a Vayne player, you want to scale and get money, right? You want to stall the game. No matter what, everything you do is along the lines of stalling, because stalling is your win condition. So once you keep reminding yourself, anytime you want to do something that's not that, ask yourself, is this gonna work? 9 times out of 10. Because if it's not gonna work 9 times out of 10, go back to stalling, right?
Yeah, because it's a high variance play.
Exactly. And if it doesn't, if you end up taking that fight and it doesn't work out, that's like you've fallen into their win condition, right? So the way scaling teams lose is they just die. They die before they lose before they can scale, right? So you need to make sure that if you deviate from the kind of idea that you want to scale, it better be really good, right? So sometimes you went to like another lane or something, and it was like, would this work? Like, how often does this work, right? Honestly, I guess it does work because he like fucking hit them with all his Qs. But when we were back here, when we were at this point, it's not obvious. Wait, let me see. When you started pathing top, it's not obvious that you guys can run them down, right? In my opinion, it's not obvious.
Right, because before I even start pathing top, my teammates haven't died yet, so I should still be pathing bot right now.
Yeah, you'd be pathing bot, and then you catch waves.
I realize I need to go path top.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, I don't know why they died here. They thought they could get a pick. I mean, like,
there's a
nice
lot
try.
Of invading my team did this game. A lot of invading.
Yeah, it's kind of awkward.
Super awkward invades.
Yeah, if that shit happened and you couldn't farm anything because everyone died, what can you do to scale and farm here?
Just jungle farm.
You get all this shit you can take, right? So there's a lot of stuff you can do. And then say bots pushing up, I would take like Gromp and Wolves, maybe put a ward down, something, and then like take bot. And then the question is, aren't they gonna take top? Yeah, of course they're gonna take top because your team just died. So there's always it's like don't worry about like losing towers and stuff. Unless you have a very clean way to stop them, right? Which is like a Bardo when they have no flash or something, or this guy running chain on them when they have no HP, right? That could be a way. But
I see.
Don't deviate from the plan unless you have a very good reason, right? That's the kind of idea. Like TF ulting bot, very good reason to fight because there's no way they can get away, right? But if TF didn't ult bot, you don't fight that Caitlyn, right? So that was good.
Right. Yeah. I see.
As for laning, it's just like take less damage, I guess.
Yeah. Can you go back to the very first minute of the lane? Like that's super awkward. Like we were talking when that was like mega awkward. Holy Jesus.
So this is something like invade, and then it was like
there's an invade and we got an assist. Like I got an assist out of it. Like 2 assists even. Like hell yeah.
Right, but it doesn't change the way the lane is played, right? So yeah. So what happens here? You want to get creeps if you can not get poked for it, but
okay. So when we come in here. So do I just concede that? Like this, so right here, like, I should have tumbled sooner, of course. I think I could have got it. I just had to tumble sooner. Tumble sooner, so I dodged his Q, and then I would have still been able to get the CS, but I would have taken auto for it.
Right, but I would not have even gone for that, right? Because
you wouldn't even have gone for it.
What does this matchup say? What does Morgana do level 1?
Not like throw a Q in if she doesn't like Q. There's no way she's gonna hit Caitlyn. No.
Nothing, right? What happens? So if you take trades, it's 1v2, right? Because you're just gonna get shielded, right? So and then if you go for the CS, you're gonna get hit, right? So you're not supposed to be able to get free farm against Caitlyn, right? It's not how it works. It's like if you could, no one would pick this champion. Let me tell you, if you could get like the CS for free as a scaling champion, no one would pick this shit, right?
Because everyone just plays scaling then.
Yeah, exactly. Which is like Ardent Sensor, right? That's how that shit got born, right? No one played Draven because gets outscaled, right? After the first like 2 backs or something. So yeah, you can't usually if you can't like play it based on the matchup, right? You can't like go for this stuff because there's nothing you can do if they try and hit you, right? Look, he's fucking eating your minions. Doesn't even matter. You're just gonna outtrade you. It doesn't matter.
You're right.
So you have to play according to the matchup. Now, say if you had a what's a really strong level 1? Say you had like a Brown with Ignite and they walk up to him. That could be different, right? Because your matchup is stronger level 1 and they're in melee range, right? But it's not. So you have to play according to what you have, right? So if this is Rakan, can't do anything, right? If this is Alistar, you can't do anything. You gotta remember that.
Okay.
And then play the matchup according to not just the level 1, level 2, but also like the after levels, pre-6, right? So pre-6, maybe you can all in at level 3 with Alistar, right? But with Morgana, you can't do anything. You literally can't do anything. So you just try and farm here, right? And you want to scale. So even if you have an Alistar or Thresh, unless it's like they're tanking tower and they're CC'd, or they're low health and they're ignited, or you have a gank coming and they're pushed up, you don't deviate from the plan, right? If you deviate from the plan, and then it doesn't work out, something like this will happen, right? Which is where you lose tower and you don't have CS. So it's kind of awkward. He should have hit you there, but
yeah,
because like once we get to like how low do you have to be before they can walk into lane and kill you, right? That's like the real question. How low do you have to be before Fiddle can just walk in here and you guys die, or you lose all the CS anyways? So it's never worth to get hit, right? Never worth to take like free damage for farm. So prioritize your health. Because if you have no HP, you're not gonna get the CS.
So here's another question I have is like, so when I watch pro play, even in losing matchups, they're still never at more than a 10 CS deficit, and I'm guessing that it's probably because of the fear of jungle pressure, like maybe, like they just in pro play they just play a lot more cautiously than people do in solo queue.
So like if you play to not get hit, right, and you're just farming under tower, they're gonna try and hit you, right? So if you dodge every hit, right, if you dodge every ability, then you're good to go, right? You're gonna get all the farm, so they're gonna be like not down that much, right? They're not gonna be down that much, and then it's like it's basically you have to play the matchup right, and then see how far the enemy team is gonna push, right? How far are they gonna push the matchup? And then no one really wants to overstep their bounds, so they kind of play safe, which is why you don't see like 50 CS deficits. Sometimes you do though, right? Because someone made a major mistake.
But even like, okay, like if like 380Cs have picked Vayne in Worlds, like this, well, that's because that was pre-Ardent nerf and they were running Ginsus, which I mean, it's still like decent in certain situations. But what I'm saying is like, in all those games, like I watched those games like freaking religiously because I was trying to understand, like, okay, wow, if they can even pick this shit in pro play, obviously it's somehow feasible. Like of course it's shittier in solo queue because like everyone on their team knows their game plan. Like their team isn't gonna invade the enemy jungle knowing like, oh hey, we're waiting for Vayne to finish his Ginsu spike. So I realize that's not the same thought process. What I am saying, what I'm curious about is like, if I'm gonna get a CS, right, and they try to auto me, and I say, okay, with what you just said is that I don't want to lose the health advantage. So I just back up and concede the CS. Why wouldn't they just consistently do that on every CS that they could? Like, okay,
right?
How would you not lose more than 10 CS if you just conceded every CS is what I'm saying.
So say we're in this position and he wants to hit you, right? So you are right outside his auto attack range. So when he thinks he can hit you, you walk back. What happens? He chases you, right? And then he's like, oh, this is not working. He turns around. You can hit him or you can CS at that moment, right? That's like an opening, right? And it's back and forth, right? So it's like you're pretty much trying to bait him into wasting his time because he's the winning guy. So the more time you can waste, the more kind of pressure you relieve or the pressure you can create, and then you can get your own stuff, right? You can get your own farm.
Okay.
Right. So that's why it's like you never see anyone just like sit at a tower or something like that, right? They're always looking to try and minimize the counter matchup or like try and maximize the amount of damage they can do with their good matchup, right? So like every time he misses, oh, looks like we can hit this with no fear, right? Something like that.
Wow. Yeah.
Wow. Like look at that. Oh, he's losing HP now. So now you guys have an advantage, right? And then it was all because one guy got hit by an ability, right? So it's very delicate kind of balance. Oh, this is awkward, right? So now you guys can't do anything because you have no HP. So yeah.
I think another thing is I mean, I had something I didn't take into account. I knew the Vayne Caitlyn matchup, but the matchup of the supports is even more like just important because the only way morgue binding is important is if morgue binding in a lane where I can't. That Q eating that Q is bad because it was in my general direction. Because she has double incentive to Q here, like.
Right. You can kind of bait them into doing it, right?
Right, like stand in the middle of the wave and then tumble sideways.
Exactly, something like that. So, but you were saying like matchups, right? You're like
the Morgana into Lulu, in a sense that like Morgana doesn't like Lulu will always like I talk about this a lot. Like Lulu has 100% effective like. Right, like she has like 100%. She will always be effective because she has a fucking shield. Like it does. Like I don't know. Like she'll just always be useful, no matter what.
Well, that's not necessarily true, right? What if she uses it and misses, or she uses it when there's no trading going on, right?
Oh, okay.
Stuff like that, right? It's less obvious, right? Because it's like, the cooldown's like a little shorter, and it's like less impact than like a blitz hook. But it's still the same concept, if that makes any sense.
Okay,
right?
that makes sense.
if you like want to take a look, like if you want to look at matchups, like what's a good one to look at? Like this, Vayne Thresh versus Misfortune Lulu, right? So how do you want to play this? Do you want to trade first of all?
No, we just want all ins. We don't want
right.
to.
And then how do you avoid poke? How do you avoid trades? How do you avoid trades?
Well, for Misfortune, just not being behind a minion that's dying, because that's how she does.
And then stay away from Lulu auto tech range, right?
Lulu. And if she gets, and Thresh should have his own zone where she can't just walk up and auto me for free.
Right. So stay somewhat near your Thresh, and then last hit minions, and then all of a sudden your jungler's nearby. And what happens when you take a trade? They think it's a mistake, so they try and hit you, and then they get baited into a gank, right? So that's how you want to play this lane. And then if they don't do anything, that's good because you want to scale and farm, right? We're good to go. So that's how you figure out the lane. Trading is like a first step to figuring out if you want to trade or how you trade, right? So if we look at this, do you want to trade with Vayne Blitz and Kog'Maw Sona?
No, because they'll just win we want all in again. No, we can't just trade with them because Cog range W and also Sona heal. She just got out sustain any trade we do.
Exactly. They have the Sona damage and the Sona heal. No way you guys want to trade. And then you just wait until Blitz can land the hook. Good to go, right? And then you wait until you have like 4 items and you can one shot this guy, and it's free. So that's how you figure out the laning phase stuff, right? Figure out if you want to trade, and then which as a Vayne player you probably like never want to trade. And then if you do want to trade, then you trade as much as possible, right? So if you say it's this matchup and you have a Soraka, do you want to trade Soraka instead of Thresh?
Soraka, yeah, because we have the because in that situation we now have the we can out sustain them, but it's hard because if we do get all in we lose, but if we just take a small one auto trade we're gonna eventually whittle them down, and that we do win, I believe.
Right, exactly. Let me see if there's an example. I play with Soraka, I think, somewhere, maybe. Did I not play with Soraka? Must have been last week or something.
Okay.
Oh, here we go. 3 days ago. What is that? 28? I was playing Zaya. Here we go. Wait, this is not right. What the hell? Hold up. It's here somewhere. This one, right? Yeah, this looks right.
Yeah.
So this lane, we're like, oh, we want to trade as much as possible. Every time you can hit them, you hit them, right? And then sure, they're doing a lot of damage. That's fine. You just hit back, right? Right? You just hit them. Oh, that was somewhat even. But if you skip forward to level 2, right? And then all of a sudden they have no HP. And then since we were trading the whole time, we have control of the lane, right? So knowing the matchup is very important because it starts from level 1, right? You can gain advantages like from the get-go by playing the matchup correctly, right? He at no time did he want to hit me when I could hit him back, right? I don't even care I get hit by that stuff, right?
Because you have a Soraka, so
exactly.
It's like...
So look at this, right? Now we're getting to the point where they can't take a jungle fight, right? So it's about playing the matchup correctly a lot of the times. So make sure that you take the support into consideration, right?
Yeah, the support, because the support I feel like this like heavily the support. I feel like the support matchups not necessarily more important because it's all situational, but like a lot of times the support matchup is extremely important actually, just because the in lane they get is like I just like realized that it's very very important.
Yeah, basically you want to like make it as easy for your support as possible, right? And your support wants to make it as easy for you as possible. So right. So yeah, any other questions?
No, I mean my hour's over. No, let me just go quickly recheck where my YouTube video is, see if there's anything. Oh, is there a way to like practice using QS? I mean, I don't know. I guess just through using it more, like having the conversation we had earlier, where you recognize like what will you be using it for, and how will you use your abilities? Like in what situation will you use what? Yeah. And so you think it's worth it to? Wait. Go ahead. What was that?
So, practicing QSS is basically like, you want to make it so that when you get hit by this ability, you can QSS it within reasonable amount of time, right?
Like instantly, as quickly as
possible. So the way you practice that is that you, it's very much a broader concept than just QSS. It's like if Caitlyn Q's IQ, right? So you know that you're gonna Q
reacting.
when she Qs. So once you can do that with abilities, I mean, you can. What's the same thing? What's stopping you doing that with Flash, right? And then what's stopping you with doing that with heal, right? You're gonna heal the Syndra ult, and then after that, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna press the QSS button when they do that ability, right? It's the same concept, right? Just with just with an item instead, right? So on a support, it'd be like if I have Mikhail's and my AD carry is walking up, right? My AD carry is Kog'Maw, and I'm playing Lulu, and they're playing Ashe, right? What happens when Ashe arrows? I'm just gonna Mikhail's immediately, right? I'm waiting for him to arrow, right? So you're targeting.
Yeah, it's a lot more telegraphed with like okay, obviously an Ashe arrow, like you know that it's like I think it's a lot more telegraphed. But yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right, well, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate it. It was very, very informative. I really appreciate it, man.
Dude,
Taking time
no
out of your
problem.
stuff, so.
Let me know how things go. Maybe you can make like a Masters push within a week,
oh,
right?
Man, Kappa Masters push from. No, this is by the way, this is actually my Smurf. My main is D4, but I mean, obviously the games aren't like that different. I'm leaving my main at D4 so that like there's no way I demote out of D because it's a D4 0P. So I'm trying to get my Smurf to D4 so I can just climb on that. But I mean, either way, thanks for the help, man. I really did learn a lot. Like, it makes it easier for me to like look back at my games and think, okay, like you know, how could I play it better? So.
Right. And dude, no problem. Good luck. I think that if you can fix this like one issue, the games will be like mega easier for you.
Are you saying the one issue is recognizing what my win condition is supposed to be, or do you
like we said, what do you want to do? Which is like usually scale up, right? And then what's the best option, right? So you got to figure out what the best option is to do that, right?
Okay.
And usually it's like, oh, farming this wave or creating split pressure, right? And then if it's like some extraordinary circumstance has to happen for you to change that, right? Like you have a 5v4 going on in your favor, so you're like, oh, I can help this and we win this fight, right? So keep that in mind as you play. Like keep reminding yourself until after you review your VODs, you realize that's not why you're losing anymore, right?
Okay.
And that'll like help you out a lot, I think.
Damn. Okay.
So yeah.
Alright, well, have a good one, man. Good luck with your streaming and everything, and you know your games and everything. Are all your accounts back in Master? Or are you like trying to grind them back up?
No, I just got back, so I just started playing again.
Okay, so what rank is your like highest rank account right now that you?
We just got D3 like an hour ago, so.
Oh, off the Zai game you just played?
Yeah. We played like 4 games. We got D3, so that's interesting.
This is like random. I mean, this is like I was gonna ask you this on stream. Like, how drastically different do you think? So like right now, I think I consistently play like a D4 level if I had to rate myself on like what. But like to push to like, what do you think separates like a D4? And there's a lot. I can't say there's one major fucking thing. There's like a lot of things. I was gonna say, what do you think separates like a D4 player from a D3 player? Or like D4 from D2 is way easier to know because I think that's a bigger gap.
I think it's in my opinion. I mean, I haven't like been at that rank for a while, but from what I like see and what I think there's a tier difference. You know how there's a tier difference between silver and gold?
Yeah.
Right?
Oh hell yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh hell yeah.
I think there's like a tier difference between like Diamond 5 and like Diamond 4 to 2, and then another tier distance from that to Diamond 1, and then another tier distance from that to Masters, right? So. There's like a lot of junk. There's
within Diamond are their own subdivisions. I tell
yeah, exactly. There's a big difference between Diamond 5 0 points and like Diamond 2, right? So I think it's fair to say, and then there's a big difference between like Diamond 2 and Diamond 1 and Masters and stuff like that. So
damn, good old League of Legends, man. So many the intricacies of League, man. All right, well, take it easy, man. I really appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Dude, no problem. And good luck to you.
I was gonna ask about further coaching. Like, is there a time like now that you're back in NA? Do you know how long you'll be back in NA? Like,
no, I'm here for like forever.
Okay.
So.
And so is it just a general time that you potentially like you'll stream? Like you're about to post a stream schedule or something, or like?
Yeah, I'm figuring out a stream schedule now, but I'll be like awake at normal times if that makes any sense.
All right. So. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate the help, man. Take it easy. I'll definitely be looking into future coaching sessions and stuff like that.
Nice. Oh, do you mind if this goes on YouTube? By the way.
No, not at all. By the way, I want to clarify. This account's D5, so like that's the. Okay, cool. Yeah. Never mind. That works out anyway. Okay, cool. All right, well, take it easy. And I do not mind if it goes on YouTube. That's completely fine with me. So, yeah.
Nice. All right, good luck, dude.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, let us go. Let's play some video games. Dude, I want to play Vayne now. I think I actually just played Vayne today, too. So, hold up. I'm going to get some water. BRB real quick.